Yes, I completed it. 600,000 words. Okay, I need to calm down. Hi, hello. Welcome back or welcome in if you are new around here. On my channel, I try to share my writing journey, a sort of a journal that I update whenever I find the opportunity to. You'll find writing vlogs, platform guides, my planning and plotting process. There is more, of course, but you can take a look at all of it if you are interested. Today's video should be a short one since I just want to share the joy that I feel after completing my year-long web novel. I have already made a video on how I organized my planning for this story and how I went about it from the very start, what inspired me to go for it, etc., etc. Since then, I have mentioned this novel quite a few times. I remember coming up with the idea a good while before even starting the process. Months before the writing began was when I decided to plan for it. My goal was to enter the Web Novel Spiriti Award 2025. From what I understand, it's a yearly contest on web novel where authors submit their stories under specific themes and go from there. I have not taken a look at the 2026 themes yet, since I'm not planning on participating. In any case, the last 2 chapters were posted on the 10th of February 2026 after a few weeks of struggling. But that part is personal and has nothing to do with my writing journey, so I will not dwell on that. All in all, from beginning to end, the whole thing was a roller coaster. I was in a completely different place in my life back when I started planning the first chapter. After my collection of short stories, this is the very first project I have completed, although the difference in size between the two is, well, you can see for yourselves. The first 25 or so chapters were around 1,500 words, and then I started posting 2 chapters a day while reducing the number of words to 1,000 per chapter. Like I said, when it comes to web novels, the sweet spot seems to be between 1,000 and 2,000 per chapter. I gotta say, I do feel odd. Bittersweet, maybe. After an entire year of writing the same characters, it's almost as if I have gotten used to their presence. Their voices, or, well, the voices I've imagined for them are still ringing in my ears. Their smiles, the way they cry, their little quirks. Mind you, throughout the entire year, I only missed a few days of writing, and it was because I really had no other choice but to shelve the story for those specific days. So yeah, I do miss them. When I was writing the last 2 chapters, I remember sitting with the odd sensation that they were not going to be the end of it, even though my chapter planning chart clearly showed that they were, in fact, the last ones. Deep down, I knew that the story had, and nearly all of the important characters' arcs had come full circle, ran their course, and that anything beyond that would be just dragging things for the sole purpose of, well, dragging things. But in that moment, it still felt like something was missing. I just couldn't let go. I brought the main characters to a place I felt, had they been real, they would have been proud of their progress and accomplishments. To see where they both, meaning female lead and male lead, had started and where they ended up, even I am proud of them, proud of the path I've traced for them. They, of course, weren't the only ones. Every other main character progressed in at least one aspect in their lives, be it personal or professional. I could honestly talk about it for hours and hours to no end. But well, completing a story that I truly cared about isn't the only thing that gave me this rush of satisfaction. That is, of course, most of it. for sure, especially considering my ADHD, which makes sticking to one thing long term extremely difficult. Still, there is also the fact that I had readers. People genuinely interested in the story that I typed from scratch with my little fingers. Readers that bought my chapters literally every day. Some days, right after the chapter was posted. It boggled my mind for a good while that there would be at least one soul on this earth who would pay actual money to consume something that I made, something that I came up with. No, truly. When I realized there were people buying my chapters, that just gave me a whole new wave of motivation that I didn't know I needed. The drive to pull through and bring the story to the end I had imagined from the get-go. Now, did I win the contest? No, of course not even close, but I personally never enter any contest with the goal of winning. Yes, I always give it my absolute best, but my main goal is always to put my work out there. I knew it had better odds at being seen than if I had just thrown it out there like I did for my first web novel. Speaking of my first story, I will finish it even if it is the last thing I crawl to do in this life. In fact, I have already gone back to it. I've started going back to the plan I had before, and it's actually very interesting to see how my perspective has changed since I've written those points. Some solidifying their stance, while others simply fading into the background as new ideas emerge. I think the best way going forward right now is for me to keep writing while preparing other stories in the background, which is exactly what I am doing these days, among other things. I do have a lot of ideas that I want to bring into the realm of reality, but I know that I have to pace myself and take it easy, otherwise none will come to fruition. I am not sure I went into detail about this point in my video about ADHD, but basically my brain is more for a race rather than a marathon. It goes fast but burns out way too quickly, leaving me lacking the desire to finish whatever I was hyper-focusing about for 1 or 2 weeks straight. So I'm trying to remedy that without medication. It has not been easy, but I have completed my second project, as you can see, and I am on the way to complete another before jumping to a brand new one. I always have to remind myself whenever the flame fizzles out that it is natural for me, that I don't need to hurt myself at the task, but to still keep going at it nonetheless. Overall, well, a new plotting and planning video is coming up somewhen in the future, but in the meantime, there are many things related to my writing process that I'd like to share before that. So yeah, this was just a small update or an excuse for me to share my progress and the joy I felt about it. I will use this as one big milestone and do my best to carry on this path, hopefully with a minimum of hurdles. If you've watched until the end, thank you. I truly appreciate it. I do hope to see you in the next video. But until then, please take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.